Bill Cobbs, the familiar face who brought quiet wisdom to every role. Bill Cobbs's performances carried warmth, dignity, and calm authority. Audiences knew him from films like Night at the Museum, The Bodyguard, and New Jack City, where his grounded screen presence made even small roles unforgettable. Before entering Hollywood, Cobbs served in the U.S. Air Force and worked various jobs while pursuing acting later in life. Across decades, he became admired for portraying mentors, fathers, and gentle figures filled with humanity and quiet strength. Wisdom wrapped in humility. When Bill Cobbs passed away in 2024 at the age of 90, tributes celebrated the kindness and authenticity he brought into film and television. He died peacefully in California, surrounded by loved ones, and was honored privately through family memorial services. His burial details were not publicly released, preserving the personal privacy his family requested. It's a peaceful farewell for the performer whose quiet humanity touched every role he played. Joan Benedict Steiger, the actress who carried classic Hollywood elegance through generations. Joan Benedict Steiger's career reflected grace, sophistication, and timeless charm. Audiences knew her from television dramas, stage performances, and her connection to Hollywood's golden era through her marriage to actor Rod Steiger. Long before public recognition, she trained as an actress and performer, building a career filled with steady dedication to theater and television. Across decades, she became admired for balancing elegance with resilience, remaining deeply connected to the arts throughout her life. Grace wrapped in quiet determination. When Joan Benedict Steiger passed away in 2024, tributes honored the warmth and sophistication she carried both on and off the screen. Flowers and heartfelt tributes continue appearing in memory of the actress, whose life remained connected to classic Hollywood history. It's a gentle farewell for a performer who carried timeless elegance throughout her journey. Richard Serra, the artist who turned steel into emotion. Richard Serra's work carried weight, silence, and monumental power. Audiences knew him for massive steel sculptures that transformed public spaces into deeply emotional experiences. Before becoming one of the world's most respected contemporary artists, Serra studied painting and worked in industrial environments that later inspired the scale and texture of his sculptures. Across decades, he became admired for creating art that challenged audiences to physically and emotionally interact with space itself. Strength wrapped in stillness. When Richard Serra passed away in 2024, tributes arrived from museums, artists, and admirers across the world, celebrating the enormous impact he left on modern art. He was remembered through private memorial gatherings attended by family, close friends, and members of the art community. His burial details were not publicly released, preserving the personal privacy his family maintained. Flowers and written tributes continue appearing at museums and exhibitions honoring the artist whose work transformed steel into something deeply human. It's a quiet farewell for the sculptor who made silence feel monumental. Ron Harper, the television star remembered for calm strength and classic charm. Ron Harper's performances carried confidence, warmth, and steady charisma. Audiences knew him from television series like Land of the Lost and Planet of the Apes, where his calm screen presence made him a recognizable figure in American television during the 1960s and 70s. Before acting, Harper studied law before eventually following his passion for performance. Across decades, he became admired for portraying dependable and grounded characters filled with quiet determination. Simplicity wrapped in professionalism. When Ron Harper passed away in 2024, tributes honored the comfort and nostalgia his performances continued to bring longtime television audiences. He was remembered privately through family memorial services, surrounded by loved ones and close friends. His burial details were kept private, reflecting the peaceful and personal life he valued later in life. Flowers and handwritten tributes continue appearing online in memory of the actor whose calm presence remained unforgettable. It's a peaceful farewell for a performer whose work became part of classic television history. Beverly LaSalle, the performer who brought fearless energy to every stage. Beverly LaSalle became a memorable figure within American nightlife and drag performance culture. Audiences knew her for bold stage appearances, comedic talent, and a fearless personality that stood out during a time when drag performers faced intense public discrimination. Her work helped create visibility and community within LGBTQ entertainment spaces long before mainstream acceptance existed. Though her career was often shaped by struggle, LaSalle remained remembered for confidence and resilience. Courage wrapped in performance. Following Beverly LaSalle's death, her legacy continued through stories shared within drag and LGBTQ history communities. Public burial details were never widely documented, leaving much of her memorial history private. Flowers, photographs, and tributes continue appearing at LGBTQ remembrance events, honoring performers who helped shape drag culture through difficult decades. It's a lasting tribute for an entertainer whose visibility helped others feel less alone. Joyce Randolph, the television mother who became part of America's living rooms. Joyce Randolph's performances carried warmth, patience, and timeless charm. Audiences knew her best as Trixie Norton from The Honeymooners, where her gentle comedic timing helped make the series one of television's enduring classics. Before fame, Randolph worked in radio and stage performance while slowly building her acting career in New York. Across generations, she remained admired for bringing comfort and sincerity into one of America's most beloved sitcoms. Kindness wrapped in simplicity. When Joyce Randolph passed away in 2024 at the age of 99, tributes celebrated the warmth and nostalgia she brought to television history. She was remembered privately through family memorial services attended by loved ones and longtime admirers. Her burial details were kept private, preserving the calm and personal life she valued away from Hollywood attention. Flowers and heartfelt tributes continue appearing in memory of the actress, whose smile became part of classic American television. It's a gentle farewell for a performer forever connected to television's golden age. Janice Page, the golden age star who carried elegance across stage and screen. Janice Page's performances blended glamour, humor, and timeless sophistication. Audiences knew her from Broadway productions, Hollywood musicals, and classic television appearances that made her one of entertainment's most recognizable stars during the mid-20th century. Before fame, Page performed in local theater productions while developing the confidence and stage presence that later defined her career. Across decades, she became admired for balancing charm with resilience through changing eras of entertainment. Grace wrapped in determination. When Janice Page passed away in 2024 at the age of 101, tributes honored the extraordinary career she carried across generations of film and theater. She was remembered through private memorial services, surrounded by family and close friends. Her burial details were not publicly released, reflecting the personal dignity maintained by loved ones. Flowers and handwritten tributes continue appearing in memory of the actress. It's a graceful farewell for a star whose charm never faded with time. Barbara Rush, the actress who brought quiet sophistication to Hollywood's golden years. Barbara Rush's performances carried elegance, intelligence, and emotional warmth. Audiences knew her from films like It Came from Outer Space and numerous television dramas where her calm screen presence made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Before worldwide recognition, Rush studied acting and theater while building a steady career during the rise of classic American cinema. Across decades, she became admired for portraying women with dignity, grace, and quiet emotional depth, beauty wrapped in gentleness. When Barbara Rush passed away in 2024, tributes celebrated the timeless sophistication she brought into film and television history. She was remembered privately through memorial services attended by family, friends, and fellow performers. Her final resting details were kept private, preserving the peaceful and personal life she valued away from public attention. Flowers and heartfelt tributes continue appearing in memory of the actress, whose elegance remained unforgettable. It's a calm and beautiful farewell for a performer who carried classic Hollywood grace through every generation. Susan Backlinie, the woman whose scream changed movie history forever. Susan Backlinie became unforgettable through a single terrifying scene that helped define modern cinema. Audiences knew her as the first victim in Jaws, where her performance during the film's opening attack became one of the most iconic moments in horror history. Before Hollywood recognition, Backlinie worked as a stunt performer and animal trainer, bringing physical realism into every performance. Though her time on screen was brief, her impact on film history remained enormous. Fear wrapped in cinematic legend. When Susan Backlinie passed away in 2024, tributes celebrated the unforgettable role she played in one of Hollywood's greatest thrillers. She was remembered privately by family, friends, and longtime admirers through memorial gatherings honoring her contribution to cinema. Her burial details were not publicly released, preserving the privacy requested by loved ones. Flowers and handwritten tributes continue appearing online from fans who still remember the scene that changed horror films forever. It's a haunting but peaceful farewell for the performer whose moment on screen became immortal. Morgan Spurlock, the documentarian who challenged modern culture. Morgan Spurlock's work carried curiosity, humor, and social criticism. Audiences knew him from the documentary Supersize Me, where his bold approach to storytelling sparked worldwide conversations about fast food, health, and corporate influence. Before becoming famous, Spurlock spent years studying filmmaking and producing independent projects driven by curiosity about everyday American life. Across his career, he became admired for turning serious social issues into documentaries that felt accessible, entertaining, and deeply personal. Creativity wrapped in confrontation. When Morgan Spurlock passed away in 2024 after battling cancer, tributes honored the influence he had on modern documentary filmmaking. He was remembered privately through family memorial services attended by close friends and collaborators. His burial details were kept private, reflecting the personal life he maintained beyond public attention. Flowers and heartfelt tributes continue appearing from admirers who appreciated the honesty and boldness of his work. It's a quiet farewell for the filmmaker who challenged audiences to look closer at the world around them. Drake Hogestyn, the television hero who became part of everyday life. Drake Hogestyn's performances carried confidence, warmth, and emotional sincerity. Audiences knew him best as John Black from Days of Our Lives, where his decades-long role made him one of daytime television's most recognizable faces. Before acting, Hogestyn pursued professional baseball before injuries eventually led him toward a career in entertainment. Across generations, he became admired for balancing strength with vulnerability, creating a television character audiences welcomed into their homes for years. Loyalty, wrapped in quiet charm. When Drake Hogestyn passed away in 2024 after battling pancreatic cancer, tributes poured in from fans and fellow actors who grew up alongside his performances. He was remembered privately through memorial services surrounded by family, friends, and longtime cast members. His burial details were not publicly released, preserving the privacy requested by his loved ones. Flowers, candles, and handwritten tributes continue appearing in memory of the actor whose presence became part of television history. It's a peaceful farewell for the performer whose character felt like family to generations of viewers. Ken Page, the voice that brought darkness and joy to the stage. Ken Page's performances carried power, theatrical energy, and unforgettable charisma. Audiences knew him as the voice of Oogie Boogie in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and from Broadway productions like Cats and the Wiz, where his commanding stage presence made him impossible to ignore. Before worldwide recognition, Page spent years developing his craft through theatre and musical performance. Across decades, he became admired for balancing larger-than-life performances with warmth and kindness away from the stage. Energy wrapped in generosity. When Ken Page passed away in 2024, tributes celebrated the joy and creativity he brought into theatre and animation. He was remembered privately by family, fellow performers, and longtime friends through memorial gatherings honoring his artistic legacy. His burial details were kept private, reflecting the personal dignity valued by his loved ones. Flowers, theatre memorabilia, and handwritten tributes continue appearing in memory of the performer whose voice became unforgettable to generations. It's a beautiful farewell for the artist who turned every performance into something magical. Anouk Aimée, the actress who carried mystery and elegance through cinema. Anouk Aimé's screen presence carried sophistication, melancholy, and quiet beauty. Audiences knew her from films like A Man and a Woman and La Dolce Vita, where her emotional subtlety made her one of European cinema's most admired actresses. Before international fame, Aimée began acting as a child, slowly building a career defined by artistic depth and timeless style. Across generations, she became admired for performances filled with silence, longing, and emotional realism. Elegance wrapped in sadness. When Anouk Aimée passed away in 2024, tributes arrived from filmmakers and audiences around the world, honoring the extraordinary legacy she left within cinema history. She was remembered privately through memorial gatherings attended by family and close artistic collaborators. Her burial details were not publicly released, preserving the quiet privacy that defined much of her personal life. Flowers and written tributes continue appearing at film memorials celebrating the actress whose beauty and emotion shaped European cinema. It's a graceful farewell for a performer whose mystery remained timeless. Marla Adams, the soap opera legend who brought elegance to daytime television. Marla Adams' performances carried sophistication, intelligence, and emotional warmth. Audiences knew her best from The Young and the Restless, where her portrayal of Dinah Abbott Merger made her one of daytime television's most memorable personalities. Before major recognition, Adams spent years building her acting career through theatre and television appearances during Hollywood's golden era. Across decades, she became admired for portraying strong and complex women with grace and emotional depth. Strength wrapped in elegance. When Marla Adams passed away in 2024, tributes celebrated the enormous impact she left on daytime television. It's a gentle farewell for the actress whose presence helped define generations of television drama.